Hello everybody. Um, I don't really have much of a plan for this video, but I just noticed earlier when I was looking through some stuff in the kitchen that I had picked up a bag of the Vampire Kisses. Hershey Kisses Vampire. They are milk chocolate filled with strawberry cream. So I thought we'd give these a try. And I guess talk about some stuff I'm going to be reading coming up soon. I've been doing a ton of Dr. Seuss books lately. I just sent them all back to the library today. The ones I have read, I probably read, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them, and I've got a whole stack of them on request that hopefully will get here soon so that I can finish them off. I read several that I hadn't ever heard of before, but they had them at the library. This is cute. And can you see the wrapper's is purple with little red bats all over it. And the little flag thingy that sticks out of them. It says vampire. And they just look like a regular kiss. And they got red goo in the middle. Kind of looks like blood. Not bad. Don't really taste a whole lot of the strawberry. I taste more of the chocolate, which is fine. I prefer chocolate to strawberry flavored things. I love real strawberries, though. Don't get them very often because I'm the only one that would eat them, and eating a whole container of strawberries by myself is kind of a lot. Of course, mid-September and strawberries are way out of season. I have this great big bag of books in this little pile next to me that are all graphic novels. So that's my next phase I'm going through, I guess, is going to be attacking some graphic novels. Oh, this one in particular is I just started. I'm only 3 or 4 pages in. But what I read at the beginning is so fitting for the situation in the world right now that I want to share it. It's called Zombies, A Record of the Year of Infection, field notes by Dr. Robert Twombly. Now, here it starts with a publisher's note. If you're familiar with the Blair Witch Project, how it was found footage and they promoted it as being, this is real footage. These kids went out in the woods and they filmed all this stuff and they were murdered, but we found this footage, so we made it into a movie kind of thing. That's basically what this is setting up. It's a found manuscript by the author illustrator of the book, Robert Twombly, who was a blood specialist in Seattle, Washington. And he witnessed the worldwide necrotic infection that, as we now know, began suddenly on or around January 7th, 2012. And it goes through this whole spiel about, how they found this and they never found him, blah, blah, blah. I want to say this artwork is gorgeous. It's all watercolors. Here, you can read the first page. Hopefully that gives you enough you can see the whole thing. I can't see the screen from here with the book in front of me. But the artwork is gorgeous. But here's the thing that really stood out to me. The first 2 sections on this page are headlines that this guy was seeing. Sudden illness fells thousands. Global pandemic freezes commerce, airport shipping, border lockdown. Doesn't that sound familiar? So yeah, I'm really curious now. And of course, then it goes into a map of the pandemic. there's a lot of writing. So as a graphic novel, I think it's a lot of novel. I mean, as I go through, it's more things like a picture on one side, writing on the other. And it's kind of consistent that way throughout the book. Some of these are very graphic. I kind of like the black and white images. I think that they're very skillfully done. That could just be ink and not watercolor. But most of these look like watercolors. But I think the artwork is beautiful. And I kind of like how it's a diary / sketchbook. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. Is it going to unfold kind of a Walking Dead-ish vibe? Is it going to unfold as kind of a, oh, if you've read the Newsflesh series by Myra Grant, is it going to be unfolding kind of the way that did? There's so many different zombie stories out there. So I'm really curious to see how this unfolds. But I've got a whole pile of graphic novels and manga, whatever. I have The Prince and the Dressmaker, which I have heard tons of good stuff about. I believe it's about basically a prince and a dressmaker, and the prince likes to wear dresses, so he gets the dressmaker to make them for him. Of course, I haven't read it yet, so I might be wrong, but I believe that's what I've heard so far. Here's one called Dancing at the Pity Party, a Dead Mom graphic memoir. So I'm kind of curious as to how this one's going to play out. By Tyler Fetter. And apparently Tyler Fetter is a female, because it's using her as the pronouns. And in the picture of the family, it's pointing to a female, and it says Tyler. Actually, the only male in the picture is the dad. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to that one. If it's talking about a dead mom, it might make me cry. Lately, everything's been hitting me that way. With my dad dying in May, my mom died 11 years ago. It seems like everything I've read lately has a parent dying. And it's been a real tear fest here lately. Yesterday, I read Hey Mom by Louis Anderson. And he's writing letters to his dead mother. His mother who had died 25 years before. But, I mean, I was crying from like page 3 all the way through the book. Because he would talk about different things. And I'm like, I remember that with my mom. And, yeah, that was a struggle for me to get through. It was a pretty good book. I mean, you know, it talked a lot about his family and a lot about his career. And it's his way of letting his mom know that he's okay. And the things that have been going on since he can't talk to her face to face, he's putting it in letter form. And then this became a book. He also, I guess, did one for his dad as well. I haven't read that one yet. I didn't even know it existed. I happened to pick this one up off Book Outlet a while back and thought, hey, found an audio for it. So let's, listen and read along. And good thing I listened, because I was having trouble with the reading part because I was crying all the time. Some more. These are a couple manga. This is called Alice 19th. I've got volumes 1 and 2. No idea what they're about. But, yeah, looked interesting. And this beast is From Hell by Alan Moore. I mean, look at this beast. It's huge. And it's black and white. In very tiny print. Look how tiny that print is. It's going to take me a while to read this, because small print and I don't get along very well. But this is essentially the Jack the Ripper stuff. And Wow, just keep on pulling stuff out of this bag. I have Dracula, and I have Les Miserables. Dracula is a regular graphic novel. Les Miserables is actually a manga, because it goes the opposite direction. Jane Eyre, The Great Gatsby. I actually just read the novel again, and I'll see if maybe I can retain the story by looking at the graphic novel. I've read the novel now twice, and I cannot tell you anything about it other than Gatsby, like, is this rich dude and throws a lot of parties, and there's a car accident and somebody gets killed. Other than that, I can't tell you much. To Kill a Mockingbird. This is nice. It's a hardback. It looks interesting, and a lot of panels on a page. So you can kind of get an idea. It's a book I really enjoyed. I've read a couple times. The last three are all Neil Gaiman. The Graveyard Book, which someplace I have an autographed copy. I met him at a Sigma Tau Delta convention. It's the International English Honor Society for those who are in college and doing English majors. A lot of fun. Highly recommend going to the conventions if you get a chance. He was the keynote speaker the one year we were in Minneapolis. Very nice man. Very nice man. I was highly impressed that he cared enough about all of us to stay until well after midnight, because it was after midnight when I finally got my book signed. He started signing around 9 o'clock in the evening. My friend and I we hung out in the bar because the line was just insane, wrapped around the ballroom we were in and out the door and down the hall. We're like, screw that. We're not standing in line forever, because by the time we would have gotten in line, we would have been God knows where, another floor maybe. The place was crazy. So we went and hung out in the bar with other people in our group, and every so often one of us would go check and see what the line was like. Finally at midnight, the line was contained inside the ballroom, and that's when we went and got in line. And other people were doing the same thing, because a little while later there were more people behind us. And I mean, the line was moving pretty good, so there was a lot of people going through that line. And he would sign anything you brought. So if you had a whole stack of books, he'd sign the whole stack. He was cool like that. Usually they're like, oh, I can only sign one or two things. He signed the whole stack. So my copy of The Graveyard Book, the actual novel, was signed by him at the convention. And when he signs, he doesn't just scribble your name. Like, it doesn't put like, to Amy from Neil or whatever. No, he drew a picture. And then, like, I think mine's a tombstone, and he put my name in the tombstone, and then he signed it underneath. I'm like, who does that? Most authors don't. The same convention, same weekend, the day before, Chris Crutcher, who does some YA novels, he was signing books, and he would only let people do 1 or 2 books. He didn't want pictures done or anything. Neil Gaiman's like, yeah, sure, take a picture, whatever. He was just so cool and laid back. I really enjoyed it. So I have The Graveyard Book. It's been a while since I've read it. This is the single volume graphic novel adaptation. The actual novel won the Newbery the year it came out. What year was that? I can't remember. It's been a while, because it's been 10 years since I graduated. So is it 12 years now that it came out? Does it tell in here? In this minuscule light print on dark. Illustration. Text copyright 2000. 8. So yeah, I guessed right. About 12 years. Really enjoyed the story. I was actually in the middle of reading it and had to keep my hand on the page so I wouldn't forget where I was while he was signing. It was kind of awkward, but then I'm kind of awkward. Story starts out with a murder, and then this toddler escapes and ends up growing up living in the cemetery, being taken care of by the ghosts in the cemetery. So, good story. This one is called Violent Cases, written by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Dave McKean. Don't really know much about it. I happened to see it listed when I was just scrolling through the list of graphic novels from my library. Oh, there's some gambling going on. There's playing cards going. Is that a balloon animal? Yeah, a dog made out of balloons. So we got a balloon dog. I'm really curious now what this story is because, well, here we're having a feast of some sort. Apparently this is a fairly older one because here's an afterword. It says from the 2003 reissue. Ooh, I like these images. They're kind of a blue, cyan blue type color, which isn't picking up very well, but I've got crappy lighting. Interesting. And then there's this one, which is super heavy. The Neil Gaiman Library, Volume 1. 4 complete books in one volume. A Study in Emerald, Murder Mysteries, How to Talk to Girls at Parties, and Forbidden Brides. I have actually read the stories, A Study in Emerald, which is a Sherlock Holmes story. And I've also read How to Talk to Girls at Parties because it was in a short story collection. I don't recognize the other 2 titles, but probably not the best page to enter in because there's a naked angel. Can't really see anything, but so just some random pages. And I like how a lot of times they put all this extra bonus content. Well, now here you get the full title for Forbidden Brides of the Faceless Slaves in the Secret House of the Night of Dread Desire. Hearing the full title sounds more familiar. I may have already read it. I like this haunted house looking page. But I like how they give you like the sketches. And, here, like, how they decided how to put the thing together. And it's interesting to me to see all this extra stuff. Sketchbook. Here's a whole bunch of, here's how we're going to lay it out. So, yeah, I think very interesting. This is interesting how it started off as this, ended up as this. So they kind of shifted the image and the focus a little bit. Very interesting. Anyway, that's the pile of graphic novels and manga I've got lined up. Some of them I think will be pretty quick. Some of them I think are going to take some time. And I've got a handful of actual novels sitting here in this other bag. I have The Dark Half by Stephen King. I have A Bad Day for Sunshine by Dorinda Jones. I have We Need to Talk About Kevin, which I'm still waiting on the audiobook for it. Hopefully it will come soon. And I have Vincent and Theo, the Van Gogh brothers. These three, Dark Half, A Bad Day for Sunshine, Vincent and Theo, I already have audiobooks for. I'm waiting on the audiobook for We Need to Talk About Kevin, which I think there's a pretty good line yet. But I also just got an audiobook come through that I'm still waiting on the print book for. That the audiobook said I was like 65th or something in line, and then came through. So I thought that kind of odd. I have downloaded A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Waiting on the print copy. I have Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I hope I said the name right. Which I own a copy of. I have downloaded this before and not read it. And then I had to wait forever. And it finally came through again. There's one called I Killed Zoe Spanos. Don't much know about it. Killer Green Tomatoes by Lynn Cahoon. It's one of the farm to fork. It's about a farm to table restaurant, and it's a cozy mystery. And this is either book 2 or 3. I've read a couple in the series already. I like her writing. I enjoy her cozies. I've also read a bunch of them that take place in a bed and breakfast in Colorado, which are pretty good, and I can't off the top of my head. Cat Latimer, I think, is the series. Then here's one called For Whom the Bread Rolls, another cozy mystery. This one's by Sarah Fox. It's a pancake house mystery. Has something to do with pancakes. Again, set in a restaurant. Usually a murder happens. The first one was alright. I liked it pretty well, so I thought I'd give another one a try. Stephen King's The Dark Half. Imprudence by Gail Carriger. I don't know how she says her name. It's a second in the Custard Protocol series. I read the first one a while ago, so hopefully I can remember enough that this one makes sense. Waiting on the hard copy to show up. Jungle of Stone, which I was planning to listen to a couple days ago. Had to send the book back. Re-requested it, so it would be 2 weeks, and it came back the next day. So I have that. True Story of Two Men, Their Extraordinary Journey, and the Discovery of the Lost Civilization of the Maya, which I needed for a challenge task, and then apparently I read something else that fulfilled one of the other options for the task, because it's not a task anymore for me. Whatever. One called The Darwin Affair by Tim Mason. It was a book of the month or big library read or something, I don't know, from Overdrive, and I had it downloaded, and I requested the hard copy, and the hard copy never showed up, and then I had to give back the book, and it was, if I went by their estimate, it was going to take almost 6 months for it to show up. It showed up like 2 days later. I don't know. I'm still waiting on a hard copy to show up. And then I downloaded one called Night of Many Dreams, because for a different challenge that I'm doing, I needed, there's a task for a title that has one of the words in the phrase, how many licks. This has the word many. So, there's that. I also needed one with a floral pattern on the cover, and there's definite floral pattern on the cover, if you can see that. Yeah, my computer hates looking at the screen, but you can see that there's a floral pattern. So those are the audios I've got downloaded. So 1, 2, 3 of them I have hard copies for. The 2 cozies, apparently my library doesn't carry hard copies for them. And 1, 2, 3, 5 of them, I have books requested. Well, 4 of them I have books requested. The other one I didn't look to see if there was a book available. But Night of Many Dreams is set like around World War II, and I think it's girls in Hong Kong? Something like that. The author is Gail Tsukiyama. So a very Asian-sounding name. I do enjoy books by Japanese and Chinese authors, so Asian authors. I'm hoping that I enjoy that one. Why are you not downloading? It got part way and then quit. Download. Why are you not downloading? I don't know. It does this sometimes. It'll just be like, screw you, I'm not going to download anything. Which apparently is what we're doing right now because it's just not doing it. Oh, there it goes. Yay! No, don't pause. Shoot. There it goes. Okay, it's doing it. All right. Now that I've completely been distracted. So that's a bunch of stuff that's coming up to read. Let me know in the comments which thing you think I should read next. Obviously, I'm working on the zombie book, but like which audiobook maybe should I do next? Right now, I'm also in the middle of a readathon, which I'm running through the Goodreads group, A Million More Pages. And at the moment, I'm at 4,146 pages. So, yeah, I'm doing all right. Right now we're doing a travel theme, so it's the Vamos a Mexico readathon. One of the potential tasks to earn a badge, because we do badges for our tasks, is to read a book set in Mexico or by a Mexican author. So I'm hoping that the one about the Mayans, this one, what's it called? Jungle of Stone. I'm hoping that this is Mexico. That's where Mayans are, right? Yeah, it's got a map of Mexico on the back. Hopefully that we'll cross that one off, and I think I've got everything else covered. Like I said, I've been reading a lot of Dr. Seuss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 so far. And I've got probably another 10 or so requested. There's one I could not get into it, which is weird. You know, you think, oh, Dr. Seuss, it's, you know, they're fun, they're cute. Bartholomew and the Oobleck, I think is what it's called. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't care for the 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins back when I read it as a kid. And this is the same character, and I liked him even less. I got 4 or 5 pages in, I said, nope, not going to read this. So I actually DNF'd a Dr. Seuss book. Is that sad or what? Ugh, pathetic. But if I've got 19 Dr. Seuss's, I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that in addition to that. So we also have badges for like read 1 book, read 2 books, read 5 books, read 6 to 10 books, read 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 or more. So I've clearly got those taken care of. And then there's like page numbers. So many pages, you get a badge, like 100, 250, 500, 1,000. I think when you get to 2,000, then it goes to 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, 500 pages at a jump, up to 5,000 plus. So, I mean, I'm 850-ish away from having 5,000 pages, and the last day is the 14th, which is Monday, so I've got until 11:59 on Monday night. So, I've got 2 full days. I can read 800 pages in 2 full days, especially if most of the books I listen to on the audio front are 400 to 500 page books. I did rereads of The Great Gatsby. It's a 2.5 star for me. It's just not great. I did a reread of The Notebook, which for me is a 5 star, and it makes me cry every time I read it. And I've read the sequel, The Wedding, for the first time. It was only a 4 star for me, but it wasn't the love story between Noah and Allie. It was one of their daughters and her husband who are having issues, and they're putting together this wedding for their daughter. Noah's in it, but I mean, he's still in the nursing home, and he's quite a bit older now, and so he's not in it a lot. And he was one of the characters I really liked. I mean, Noah and Allie, their story is why The Notebook is so touching and gripping for a lot of people. Their love story is an epic love story. And The Wedding just, it lost that. There's some interesting things. There's a thing about a swan, which is kind of cool. There's a nice little twist in there, which I kind of thought might happen. And then as the book progressed, I thought, well, maybe not. And then it did happen. So I was happy, kind of surprised, but not really. So, yeah, it was a nice story. I also read Last Sacrifice, which is book 6 of the Vampire Academy. Liked it pretty well. I guess I just watched Books and Lala's thing about road trip books. I guess you could kind of say that one was a bit of a road trip, because they were all over the place. They were in West Virginia. They were in Michigan. They were everywhere but the school, or not the school. They kind of left the school already, but the royal compound or whatever. Of course, they were trying to prove that Rose did not kill the queen, and so there's a whole bunch of stuff about that, and they're trying to find the real killer, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So they added a mystery element, which is kind of nice. And I read Skin Game, which is the 15th book. Hold on a second, because another challenge is to read that series. It's book 15 of the Dresden Files, which for me officially completes the challenge because of when the challenge was set up. Books 16 and 17 were not available yet. 16 came out earlier this year. 17 is supposed to come out at the end of this month. Fingers crossed. But then there's also like a 6-month waiting list for the audiobooks. So yeah, it'll be a little while before I get those two. But 6th book in Vampire Academy ends that series. Now I can spin off into Bloodlines, which is the next 6 books, separate series. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm ready to go into that yet. I want to finish up some of these series I've already got started, which I've got a couple that are close to it done, and then I've got some I'm just not sure I want to finish. Like I have, I think, 2 more books to finish off Anne of Green Gables, but I don't like Anne, so reading Anne of Green Gables is kind of like torture. And I don't know. Maybe I'm an evil person. I just do not like Anne of Green Gables. I wasn't a big fan of reading Little Women either. I like the movies made off of it. The movies are good. Probably because it cuts out all the crap. All the extra that I don't care about. I recently watched the newer version of Little Women on DVD, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. There was stuff in there I didn't remember from the book, but then again, it's been a while since I read the book. I don't know, probably 8 to 10 years ago. And I don't know, when I read the book, I just wasn't all that interested in it. It was kind of boring to me, but then I'm not the intended audience for that book. So there's that. Anne of Green Gables, I liked the first book okay, the second book was okay, and then I got to the point where she's just so fucking whiny. I can't stand her. Little Miss Positivity, but she whines about everything and it drives me nuts. So, yeah, not a big fan of Miss Anne of Green Gables. The other thing that's been going on, well, let's get into some life crap, because I can't do just a book blog. I have to add life crap too. The latest in the if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all, is my washing machine broke. So now I am slowly taking things out of it and hand washing them in the sink in the kitchen and hanging things up to dry in the shower. So if you notice I'm a little scruffy, I didn't take a shower today, which means I didn't shave this stuff off like I normally do. And I have a bad problem with facial hair. I can't get rid of it. So if you see scruffy, that's I don't care. I just couldn't be bothered today. So I have laundry hanging in my bathroom, hanging over the shower rod to dry to the point where I can transfer it to a drying rack. I want it to dry enough so it's not dripping water, which I wring it out as much as I can, but there's always still water in there, and as it hangs, the water pulls down to the bottom. Then you can wring it out some more. I do that 2 or 3 times, and by then it's dry enough that I can transfer it to a drying rack. And then I will take some more stuff out of the water that won't drain in the washing machine. The agitator still moves, but it's not draining the water out. And yeah, it's not pleasant, and it's smelling bad now. So I actually have to hand wash everything just to try to wash the stink out of it. And I've got some lavender scented liquid laundry detergent. So I pour some of that in and wash it and rinse it and let it sit in the sink so the stuff comes out. And actually, I let it sit in the soapy water for a while so that it will absorb the lavender scent and get rid of the stink scent from the water in the washing machine. And I'm slowly getting the water out of the washing machine, but it's not the easiest thing to bail. And all my friends on Facebook are like, oh yeah, it's probably a simple fix. You just need to blah, 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 fix the pump underneath. How do you get to underneath? If it's underneath, that means it's still full of crap that I can't get to it. So yeah, not a fun time. And man, the stench, it's bad. It is so bad. And the water is like this dark gray because it was a lot of black t-shirts. So the ink or the dye is like seeping out of the shirts, I guess, and into the water. So it's this nasty, dark, grayish black water that smells bad. Yeah, not fun. Hopefully it's something super easy and super cheap to fix, because I can't afford to have to replace a washing machine. That's why I have a clothesline outside now. My brother built one for me after my dad died while he was down here. He built me a clothesline. It's got 4 lines, which is fantastic. 'Cause now I got a place to dry clothes other than just the drying rack that tends to get set up in the bedroom and then is in the way all the time as things dry. Because our dryer died 5 years ago, something like that. So we've been hanging stuff around the house to dry for a long time because we can't afford to replace it. And now there's no income at all. So naturally, the washing machine had to break. But on a more fun note, I have been playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And we're having a fishing tournament right now. So I'm happy about that. That's fun. I don't know if you can see or not. The little fish, see how it's sparkling? That's a tournament fish. So if I catch him, then it counts toward my tournament. And what it is a total length. So like this one, ooh, I caught 2. Yes! It's a flame angelfish, caught 2. And it shows you the length, 7.1 and 7.8 centimeters. So those lengths will get added to what I've already caught. It's a total length and not the number of fish. But, more fish obviously equals more length. That's another one of those flame angelfish. And this one is 8.4 centimeters, which is cool. And, after you catch all the available tournament fish for the moment, because you only get so many at a time, then you got to wait for a little while. This one's called a bicolored dotty back, and apparently I caught 2 of these. One's 5 centimeters, the other's 5.2 centimeters. So when I catch all of the tournament fish, then I turn them in to this judge guy, and he measures them all and then gives me prizes when I hit certain length goals. Not sure what he is. A beaver, maybe? There's another one of those. Anyway, I've kind of been obsessed with this game lately. I can't play real Animal Crossing because I don't have a Switch. So, this is the next best thing. But, I don't know if I have enough memory on my phone for the next big update that's coming. Because it's going to be huge. And it's coming in November, I think. I think that's what the notice said. So I may only get to play until November. Holy moly. Well, thank you, car outside. You distracted me. I missed my fish. Sheesh. Did you hear that? It was so loud. But anyway, I've really been enjoying playing the game, and I haven't been able to figure out how to stream it from my phone onto the computer. So short of just showing you, here's what's going on the screen at the moment, I don't know how to share the gameplay. So if anybody knows how to do that, can you tell me in the comments? Okay, that's all the tournament fish at the moment. More tourney fish in 51 minutes. So I gotta wait an hour before I can fish some more. Okay, how's it going, buddy? Are the fish biting today? I brought fish for you. So I'm gonna give him some fish. And he's gonna measure them. So we're measuring the fish. Hey, I got 61 centimeters. Now it's going to show you which put me to the next goal. Give me something good this time. Getting tired of Essence. Ooh, an Art Academy easel. That's cool. So that's what I got for hitting that goal. I've got an Art Academy chair and a box of art supplies as well. So this is a pretty neat set that they're giving us for the fishing tournament. I'm excited about those things. And we're also gathering ginkgo leaves, which we started collecting ginkgo leaves in the previous thing where we had to grow ginkgos. Huh? Oh. We had to grow ginkgo trees. We had to grow yellow ones for a week, and then we had to grow green ones for a week and catch the bugs that came and infested the plants. And I collected all the bugs for a ginkgo cafe set, which is fine. But there's a lot of repetition, and we could get golden ginkgo leaves, which the more you collect, then the more items you can earn throughout the thing. But you don't get to choose what items you get. You're kind of going through a path and, oh, well, you've completed this section, so you get this amount of stuff. Here's the next section to complete. So I'm working on collecting those, and we're getting some of those from the fishing tournament. Right now I'm at 346.4 centimeters. And the next thing is 350 centimeters, and I get a trophy. And then we hit 392, and we get another prize. It's also got some challenges. Flame Angel Fish Collection, catch 12. I've now caught 12 of those. Catch 8 that are at least 8 centimeters. I've accomplished that, which gives me some leaf bucks. Yes! Leaf ticket, whatever. So, I'm doing alright on the tournament stuff. I'm really enjoying it. It's the having to wait in between all the time that's kind of driving me nuts, but that's fine. And maybe I'll collect some of these shells that are laying here on the ground. Ooh, there's that great big fish I could never catch. I get it this time. Nope, missed it. Oh well. Sometimes there's this great big fish. I swear it looks like a whale. And I probably only catch it 1 out of 5 or 6 tries, if I'm lucky. Sometimes it's, longer in between. And it's always some humongous fish. But I'm afraid to sell them because I'm afraid I'll never catch them again. Anyway, it really isn't much fun watching me look at a phone when I'm trying to explain the game. So, especially since I can't really show you what's happening. So I will put that down for the moment, finish off the video, and then I'll go back to my game. So anyway, it's been close to an hour now, so we're at, 49 and a half minutes? I think I'll let you go because I really don't have anything else to talk about. I do like these Vampire Hershey Kisses. I think they're pretty good. One of the better flavors. And I think they're super cute how they are purple with the little red bats all over them. That tickles my fancy because, obviously I'm into bats. My YouTube name is Bat Kisses. On Instagram, I'm Amy the Book Bat. Goodreads, I'm Amy the Book Bat. So, Twitter, I'm Bat Kisses. So I'm, obviously bats on the brain. So, go ahead and do all the YouTubey things. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon. And hopefully I'll have something more interesting in the next video. If there's something you want me to read and review out of the stuff I mentioned in this video, please let me know in the comments. I will try to do that if I can. With some of the graphic novel classics, I might do like I did with the Macbeth one and do a video on it specifically. What I liked, what I didn't like. I'm not enthused about reading Jane Eyre because it's just not a book that I've ever loved. But I also noticed that, like the Macbeth book, it's got some interesting supplemental material at the end. Not a big fan of The Great Gatsby, but I want to see if the graphic novel is more engaging, if that will help the stuff stick into my head. Because, like I said, I've read it twice now, and I just do not remember anything about what goes on in it. It's boring to me. Maybe it's the time period it's set in. I don't really read a whole lot of stuff set in the 20s. But then again, I did read the Diviners series, and I loved it, and that's set in the 20s, so I don't know. Maybe it's Fitzgerald. I haven't read anything else by him. Is there another Fitzgerald book that maybe I should read to get a better feel for him? That I might like better? I think I might have a copy of Tender is the Night. Maybe. I know I've got at least one or two Fitzgerald books floating around. Not entirely sure where they are at the moment. I think one of them is Tender is the Night, and I don't know what else. I can't remember other books that he wrote. But maybe if there's one by him that y'all have read that you think I might enjoy better. I don't know. I like Jane Austen books. I didn't care for the Brontes. I did not care for Jane Eyre. I did not care for Wuthering Heights. So that time period is hit or miss for me. Fitzgerald a little bit more modern than that, but still a classic because of the time period. I don't know. I think for me, classics are kind of hit or miss. There's some I love and some that I'm just like, eh. And everybody's like, oh, you're going to love Wuthering Heights. No, I didn't. You're going to love Jane Eyre. No, I didn't. But anyway, not everybody loves everything. That's why there's a whole world of books, because there's a whole world of people. And just because it's not my favorite book doesn't mean someone else can't love it. So, yeah, I've got quite a few here. It's like my favorite book of all time, and I don't know why it is. It just is. My favorite book of all time is The Phantom of the Opera. Has been since college, my first time through. I think that's when I first really listened to the music from the musical, and I got obsessed with the musical, and then I read the book and became obsessed with the book and read it like 6 times within a year. My European Gothic literature teacher probably was ready to strangle me by the end of the semester, because every time we had a paper due, I wrote about some aspect of Phantom of the Opera that I hadn't written about before. That's also when I read Frankenstein, and I really enjoyed Frankenstein. And I love Dracula. Dracula I read on my own. Jekyll and Hyde I read on my own. Frankenstein I read on my own, and then it was required for the class, so I already had a leg up on that. So it was a reread for me in that class. And then I taught it when I did my student teaching in my second time through college. And I had seniors, and we did Frankenstein. So I know I've got a request for a Frankenstein graphic novel, and I want to see it. See if maybe it's something that would have been useful for when I taught it. because it's not the easiest book to teach. There's a lot of layers there. Anyway, I already did my thing, you know, comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon, do all that stuff. Let me know what you want me to read next, or if there's something you'd like me to read and then do a talk about. And I will say goodbye and see you in the next video.